done it as well.
Welcome.
Holy shit.
And that's 3 swear words in the first 3 words.
It wasn't me either.
I know. That's it. You're in trouble, Fernando. You are.
Next time he comes into a server with us, I'm just going to play ABBA.
We are live. Oh, I better turn the audio down.
Holy shit.
And that's 3. Where are we? Pop out the chat. Now I've got to redo me chat window.
So did you notice that our last live stream we did, Fernando was wearing all white, and this one he's wearing all black?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that, mate.
It looks like he stole Ice Cube's beanie.
It is freaking like 20 degrees today. It's freaking cold in my apartment.
Excuses.
Central heating?
Hey?
I said, has he got central heating?
Hang on, I'm gonna have to. I can't see a bloody thing because the camera's in the way.
In your glasses.
So I've turned that one off. I'll have to open up another one because I'm on a different screen now. I can't see. Hang on, where's it gone? Oh, there we go. Why does it always pop everything up right where I can't bloody see it?
Good question. I don't know.
You chats.
Oh, I can see your desktop.
Whoa.
Oh, I can see your. Oh, Gary, how could you have a file called that?
It's the wrong one anyway. Where are we?
Oh, sorry, has got a file for that. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, there we go. So,
Google search history, naked UFO.
well, you got to do something on a Friday night.
Well, this is what we're doing.
Oh boy.
I can't see a thing. Where's there?
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, so that's how you set up your OBS.
What's that?
Oh, I'm just watching you set up your OBS.
Hang on. Where are we?
I definitely had to mute the YouTube because I got the YouTube running on the live just so I could check out the chat group. But I was hearing us because it's like there's like a minute delay over here, so it's just
There's always a bloody big delay, and there's not a thing we can do about it.
No.
yeah.
We got 4 people watching though.
Oh, those poor people.
watching us to set up.
I think that's why they tune in, just to watch us fail.
I bet you they've all got the stopwatches going to see how long it's taken them to get their crap sorted this time.
Placing bets.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone wiggly. Hang on. That's good enough. We don't have anybody in the chat yet, though. That's interesting.
So when you first said about this topic, I actually thought you meant about the books written by Michael Drosnin.
Well, yeah, there's that as well, because that's obviously a big part of it all.
So before we start, do I have time to go get a refill?
We've already started, but you better ask everybody else.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do this. Ready?
I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, that's cheating. That's cheating. So, how is everybody? I don't know how many. We've got 4 people watching. I don't know who they are because they're not in the chat room yet. So I'm waiting for the chat to fire up. And it's the cheapest way of doing it, isn't it? But he's a smart ass. He's got it sorted. So, if you want to do a screenshot, man, I'll do a screenshot of that right now.
Oh my god. Send it to me.
No, I'm not doing it. But it is recorded now, so you will be able to. Here's me waving a bloody Sharpie.
Oh man.
You will be able to get it later on.
Freaking hilarious.
Yeah. So how's everybody tonight? We have a good one for you all tonight. When somebody actually turns up.
For that long.
Hey?
That really hurt posing like that for that long.
He's funny. He's funny. So,
I thought for now like that.
well, I'd like to know who the 4 people are that are in the chat room. I don't know who they are yet. Hang on, I better make sure it's all working. Oh, there we go. Carl's there. G'day, mate. Hang on. That's a different Carl.
Carl F.
Carl F. Who are you?
There's Carl with a K.
Yes, he's got the fancy spelling of it. It's like anybody called Gary and you got the Gary with the 2 R's. It's just, yeah, you're just showing off, you know.
My name's Gary with a PH. For Gary.
There was when we didn't investigate. We did a paranormal investigation out in Green Hills, I think it is, out the back of York, and we got an EVP of one of the spirits. Pretty much F you, Gary, sort of thing, but that was a long while back. I just realised I got everything set up. I forgot to turn my bloody lights on so you can see me properly. So there we go. There be light. The one and the only.
Gary. Gary. Carl, how are you going? The one and only Carl with a K. Actually, I don't know any other Carls with a K.
Nah, not that I can think of. We have an interesting one tonight, but we're just going to wait and give it the usual thing. It's usually about 10 past, isn't it, when we fire up the
Roughly.
start
So
music.
does that mean we're actually earlier and ahead of schedule than normal?
We're a few minutes ahead, yeah. We're usually still prattling around about
Oh, wow. We're getting better, guys. We're getting
No, it's
better.
not our best. The best one we had, we were up and going bang on 9 o'clock itself, and that happened once.
Hey, we're getting there. Taking time.
Well, this is one of the good things about anybody that does subscribe to us, because you get to see the catastrophe that is the setup every live stream before we go live. So,
There's always some entertainment in that, for real.
oh yes.
Oh, 100%. There has to be.
But
That's good.
I'm just trying to think how many people would actually know about this.
Oh, look, I didn't know about it until like this afternoon at work when I had like 5 minutes spare. I'm like, okay, how am I going to pass this one off?
There we go. We're going to have to pass this one off as a very experienced, and we know all about it in 2 hours worth of study.
Well, no, well, it's just off the cuff and see what happens. It's, you know, it's alive for a reason, not recorded.
Yeah,
So we can get away with kind of looking at a few things and researching at the time.
has anybody put the post up saying that we're live yet? Already done?
Yep, don't worry about me.
Cool. Well, hopefully some people will kick in soon, so we'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll jump in with everything. So, how's things for the chilly man with his beanie on?
Old. Freaking
Hang on.
living here in New York, sometimes you wake up and there's no heat in your apartment.
Did you say old or cold?
It's cold.
It's cold.
Cold.
Oh, it's hot here. It's hot.
I'll tell you what, Fernando, today in our workshop it was like 113 degrees, if that makes you feel any better.
Oh, yeah. That makes me all warm and fuzzy inside.
I don't know, I was melting.
I don't think that was the intention in what he said, but you know.
I was just trying to give him a little bit of heat to
Oh my
handle.
God.
Apparently you touched him in his fuzzies and made him smile.
No, it is cold today, and we had a severe winter storm a couple of days ago. It snowed they reported like 5 to 8 inches of snow.
Carl, whereabouts are you in the world? Don't tell me we actually know you.
We probably do.
Oh,
I don't
possibly.
want to sound rude, but it's hard when it comes to a YouTube icon that's a K. And that's it.
Oh, should I show everybody the?
Do it.
It's not set yet, but you get your first sneaky peek Some really crap graphics, but here we go. I don't know how it affects the audio. I hope it's not affecting it too badly, but
we do know
we
this
do
Carl.
know him.
Oh man, now I feel bad.
The pressure's on now.
Oh no! Unless Carl's doing a funny and he's made his name with a K, not a C.
Are you the Carl, and you just changed your name?
Are you the Carl?
The Carl, and he's just changed his name to. Oh no! This is.
No, this is not cool. Do you have me on Facebook?
There we go. Oh, I forgot where I'm looking. So yeah, you can see some of the logos in the. You bastard,
Carl, you just
changed
changed
his name. He's just. That is not cool, Carl. That is not cool. I was waiting for a second Carl to come in.
I'm surprised he didn't change his name on YouTube to Carlspiracy. Because it really is Carlspiracy.
That's a good one.
Carlspiracy from Carlsbad.
I want to know what the F stands for now.
Franklin.
Anyway, yeah, you can see the bit. You can see the bit. You can see the bit on the background.
And actually, yes, I'm pretty sure I do have Carl on Facebook.
Where are we? Somebody's drinking and I can hear the gulps.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to turn this off. Can you hear the fan? Can you hear any noise?
Look, it's Gary next to Gary.
Yeah, I had to upload a video just to make sure I could upload videos. So I just... yeah. Anyway, turn it off. Oh, it's not going off. There we go. No, it's not. Oh, the off button doesn't work. I just gave them good reviews as well for that. Oh. So,
is there any validity to the topic tonight?
yeah, it's been proven. It's there's scientific books on it and everything, so it is definitely there. But there's a lot of there's still a lot of controversy over it and everything like that. So
yeah, there is, and I'm not going to start saying what I'm saying now because I'll ruin it for later.
Yeah, I don't have feelings on it one way or the other. It's a matter of there's other bits that come into play that people probably generally don't think about straight away when they start talking about this. So
if Fernando, I'm going to do it.
Are we just going to jump straight in and start?
No, I was just going to say Scientology for the hell of it.
Oh, there we go. Everybody start counting how long it's going to be before we start playing up. So here we go. We're going to kick start. There we go. We are officially off and running now. So,
yay!
I don't know if we've got I was going to say we got somebody else in, but that's just James. So,
I said ho, James. I meant to say hi.
Yeah, that's what happens when he pulls out at the last minute. He gets ho, James. Yeah.
Now you couldn't have said two worse things together without my mind going, it's a dirty joke.
Yeah. Anyway,
you said pull out and ho in the same sentence.
See, if anybody was here right from the start, literally the first 5 or 10 words out of everybody's mouth were swear words today.
I didn't swear.
No, it's all Fernando. Fernando's got a really foul mouth.
There's not a swear word.
I don't even know if that made it in there.
It is 8 o'clock in the morning on my end, so it's very well likely that a couple of words would be swear words on my end.
Swear related, yeah. So tonight, being a live stream night, it is obviously potentially going to go in any direction as they usually do. But it's Fernando's fault again. We do have. I just realised there's still another light I haven't put on yet. There we go. Yeah, so we are talking about the Bible Code, and I don't know if you've heard about it. It also comes from people call it the Torah. Hang on, I'm joking. Very good, very good. Yeah, it's also known as the Torah codes. And if you don't know what the Torah is, I'm sure somebody can put it up in the chat room. But basically, let's go through a little Sunday school recap. And we all know about Moses. Hey, Mark, how are you? We all know about Moses and how he went up Mount Sinai and he came back down with the 2 stone tablets with the 10 commandments on them and stuff like that. Well, something else happened at the top of at the top of that mountain as well. It is the place where the Torah was delivered to earth, I suppose is the only way we can really put it. Now, I don't know. The Last Melon is here as well. Well done. I don't know who that is. We probably know them as well. But so the Torah was delivered to earth at the top of Mount Sinai. Now, this is I don't know if it's on stone tablet. I'm assuming it's on a stone tablet based on the age, and I don't know when in relation to Moses, blah, 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 blah. I'm not that good with all of this, but what's interesting... Eh?
I was saying hello to Last Melon.
Yeah. But what is interesting about the Torah codes is that basically, I can't remember, it's something like 300 and something thousand characters in this code, and everyone is in a specific location. It's basically, like a word grid when you do those word searches and things like that. It is like that, but it's all in Hebrew, and obviously it was translated literal. There's no gaps, there's no punctuation, it is just solid words, so you have to work out where to do the breaks and what have you. And pretty much this the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament. It is also in the it's also obviously in other religious texts as well. Now, that is what it is, obviously, because it is. I know that sounds really vague and you don't know what I'm talking about there, but basically it's there across all these different religions. And where you go from there is that when the rabbis were reproducing these into a written form, they found some very interesting things in there. So what they were told was, you have to reproduce it exactly the same way, character for character, so many across, so many down. It has to be exactly the same. If there is one error, they had to redo that whole piece again so that everything was in conjunction with everything else. Now, obviously back then they didn't see much of it other than the fact that they read it for its face value, and it was the stories and blah 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 blah. But what happened was, this is probably over 1,000 years ago, when the rabbis were reproducing it again, they actually found the names of some of the actual rabbis when they did the codes. Now, there's a whole load of technical names for what they've discovered, but it's basically a skip code. Now, anybody who does decryption type stuff and whatever, it's the old-fashioned, the first, you take the first letter, you skip 50, you write the next letter down, skip 50, you write the next one down, and you keep going, and then you'll end up with a whole load of words and things, a whole load of letters and everything, and then you have to go, okay, well, that's this, I'll do a break there. And they actually, if you actually start from the very first character of the Hebrew version, and you go 50, 50, 50, it actually spells out the word Torah. Right, so there's obviously a code in there. Now, I'm not sure what numbers were involved, but they then found the names of rabbis, you know, like the famous, you know, like the Pope, well, their version, you know, the rabbi version of the Pope, the high ups. But not only did they find one, they found the next one, and these were all in concession, and the next one, you know, all in a line, and they ended up with seven different names of rabbis, all in order. And then eventually they looked into it further and found there was a lot more.
At the moment, they're even using even newer technology or the computers to try and figure this out.
Yeah, but that's where I'm getting to. You jump in the gun. You're jumping like an hour ahead of where we are, or at least a bit ahead of where we are now. And that's what I'm saying is, remembering these are guys that used to painstakingly count the whole thing out by hand. So they only found so many names and things like that. Now, we're going to jump ahead, which means we're probably going to shift off this real quick. But
no, that's all right.
But it wasn't until the invention of computers, literally over the last 50 odd years or whatever, and then I think it was in the 60s and the 70s where like decryption software really got into it. And they started looking at this same thing because they'd heard about it. And what they found was they definitely found the names of these rabbis. In fact, they found 32 rabbis in succession. And then with each one of these rabbis, there were intersecting other codes which told you their date of birth, or the month of birth and year of birth, and the place of birth. It also had their date of death, you know, the month of death and year of death, and the location. And it was the same for each and every one of them. So you and I, all of us that are watching this, know that at some point, just pure chance, you are going to come across a word here or a word there if you do these sort of things. But when you're talking the number and the specifics of each one of these, it goes well beyond just being a coincidence. You're going into something which has been orchestrated. And moving on from there, as computer software got more and more advanced, they actually ran a computer analysis, and it ran for 4,000 hours, this one analysis on the Torah codes. And the amount of information that they got, I'm sort of like one of them was, it just said Kennedy, Dallas, 1963, and something else in there, you know. Another one, some of them are, and obviously when you read them and things haven't happened, you can't put it in context. But when you are picking up these things of things that have already happened, you've got hindsight in your favor, and you can actually see what it's all about.
Well, there's also other ones as well, with like you're saying about finding messages from things that are quite substantial happening in the future to when it was written. You've got other people who said they found things about the World Trade Center, Yasser Arafat, Bill Clinton, anthrax, various earthquakes, and other natural disasters. Yeah.
Not only that, man-made stuff as well. You know, and what they're saying is there is so much in this document which we don't have a definitive date of when this thing turned up. It's just been there as long as the hills have. You know what I mean? So now the question, and this is where it gets really interesting, is people read it, okay, it's a prophetic document of some sort, which it could be, but religious people say it is a holy roadmap of where humanity should be going and things like that. You know what I mean? Other people look at different things. Now, for me, I look at my head goes in 1,000 different directions. So what I'm thinking is, okay, this thing turned up, let's just say 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. It turned up. It isn't until the advent of computers that we can really get into the nuts and bolts and get right into everything. So this was almost designed for us in the here and in the now, because with the computers, we can really get every bit of information out of it. You know what I mean? Now, that then begs the question is, and I don't like doing this, but did God put that down as a roadmap of where we need to go? Did aliens bring it down for us? And this is where it really gets interesting. It really gets interesting. Or did somebody from our future go back in time and give it to them? Because whoever wrote that document had glimpses of the future, knew what was happening in the future. And yeah, so these things happening are, well, obviously they've been prophesized in this document, and it is, I think it was mentioned in some of the websites that I was going through today, that it actually has information about the end of the world. They don't tell you about that because this whole thing only works in the original Hebrew. It doesn't work when you translate it to English or any other language. It doesn't work.
Translate it to England.
Yeah, translate it to English. It doesn't work.
So what you're saying is realistically the 5 Hebrew Bible books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's where it started. Now they have found it in other books after that, but it's not anywhere near the prolific number of prophecies that are in those first 5 books.
So imagine being that 12-year-old kid if you knew time travel, and this 12-year-old kid's like, I'll get these guys, watch this.
Yeah. And okay, now, just to throw a little spanner in the works, right? No, let me finish this. What if we all know about the powers that be, you know, the secret government that runs all the governments and all that sort of stuff, which we love talking about. What if they got this information, or their predecessors got this information, and they are manufacturing history to match what is in the books, in those prophecies?
So in the same way that several music artists have turned around, or more than several, turned around and said, you know, the government is God.
Yeah. And there was an actual film that was based on this kind of thing. It's a Nicolas Cage film called Numbers. I don't know if you haven't seen that. It's definitely worth watching. It's about a school that does this time capsule, and they bury it for 50 years, and then everybody was drawing pictures of what they think the world will be doing in 50 years, and they were drawing like flying cars and like the Jetsons and all that sort of stuff. And then there was this one kid that just wrote a whole crap load of numbers down, which just looked like gibberish. But it all got put away, and then it was Nicolas Cage's kid that actually got that letter when they opened up the time capsule. Yeah. And what he found from that was that these numbers, some had a date, and then there was a set of geographic coordinates. So they knew at this point something was going to happen on this date. And then there was another number that he didn't work out what it was. And then obviously when it started making sense, it was a date, a location, and a number of people that were going to die. And ultimately, if you haven't seen that film, it all comes down to the last 2 characters in this document was E.E. And he never knew what that was, but you do find out at the end what it's all about. And if you haven't seen this film, it is definitely worth watching. It goes into a lot of stuff that we love. Have you seen it, Fernando?
Yes, I have. Also, when well, first off, from the very beginning, when you mentioned Mount Sinai, over here we actually do have a hospital called Mount Sinai. But it was weird because the first thing, you know, in the morning while I was getting myself ready, I opened TikTok, and the first thing I see was basically what we're talking about right now. And like you just gave me the topic about the Torah cards, like basically what, a half hour before we started.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was like, Scientology, are they hearing us? but
as soon as you said Scientology, we dropped from 7 people watching to 5 people watching.
That's all right. Gary, so you know at the start you were saying about Mount Sinai and the 10 Commandments.
Yep.
So if you go off the Hebrew Bible,
yeah,
it actually says the 10 Commandments were given to Moses by God.
Yes.
Not on Mount Sinai, but Mount Horeb.
Really?
Which is stated in the book of Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
In the Hebrew Bible.
Well, everybody in the Western world knows it as Mount Sinai.
Yeah, a different mountain altogether, Mount Horeb.
It's interesting.
Wow. I mean, in this video, the gentleman was talking about, you know, the Red Sea, and they basically found the location of where, you know, all these people crossed, you know, walked in between the walls of the ocean, and, you know, that they actually found artifacts where they potentially walked through, you know, like wheels, and, you know,
where Moses parted the sea.
Yes. So that whole video was about this guy talking about the location, that they actually found the location, even when God broke open like a rock for water to come out, you know, to give water to drink to the people and to the animals. You know, like they found the actual rock. It actually has like a slit in the middle. You know, so I found that all very interesting. Now, as far as the numbers are concerned, before you mentioned numbers, I was like, wow, this sounds like pretty much like Ghostbusters Afterlife, where they went into the temple and they had all the, you know, the numbers written across, and it was the year and all of the tragedies that happened specifically. So, but yeah, Numbers is a very good movie.
Yeah, yes. It is. It's definitely worth watching. Now, there's one other possibility, and it's probably the scariest possibility of them all, is with this predicting everything that's going on, does that mean we don't have free will and that our life is already programmed?
Well, I don't know about the program bit, but the free will, I agree with 110%. You can do whatever you want as long as you do it within these parameters.
But this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Everybody's going to be programmed differently. We're programmed to have this in this theory. We're programmed to be having this conversation now. And if you turn around and you go, okay, well, I can do free will. I'm going to throw that pen. Totally unexpected, but it was probably already programmed if you go down that thing.
I mean, if we go down that rabbit hole right there, I mean,
we are going down the rabbit hole.
Just the fact that I was about to, you know, basically use the bathroom and watch TikTok, and we were talking about the subject that I didn't even know about. We're going to talk about right now. I mean, where's the line between coincidence and...
But this is the thing.
Oh, shit.
But this is the thing. If everything is programmed and predetermined, there is no such thing as coincidence because it was already written.
Wow.
He's trying to get his head around it.
I don't see how you can have free will when you have parameters to live by. You're told what you can and can't do. That's not free will. You have free will to do what you want to do within those parameters, but that's it.
Yeah.
That is not true free will.
But no, it's not.
You don't get what I'm saying.
It's like laws. Basically laws. You could do whatever you want within, you know, like how you stated, within a parameter.
Yeah, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. You say you've got free will to do what you want within the parameters.
Yeah.
But how do you know it's what you want? It's not what's already been programmed for you to think that's what you want.
I got that.
You think you're doing... Nobody's telling me what to do. I am doing exactly what I want to do. But that's exactly what you're programmed to do and what you're programmed to say. In this theory...
You don't have free will.
In other words, yes, you don't have free will in that.
I mean, wow.
It's just another interesting... It's just another interesting thing, you know what I mean? I like to think I have free will. Yeah. I mean, to a point, we all fall into the laws of the land, this, that, and the other. You know, you can't just go and kill somebody. There was an incident that happened this week, and I probably could have done that to somebody. And Jay, if he watches, he knows all about this, but I couldn't because I would have got in trouble. So you understand that, but You know? And again, if everything is pre-programmed to do these things, that means that all the mass murderers, all the rapists, all the pedos, all of these people were programmed to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Why would all-powerful being program us to be that way?
Because there is no care factor.
Yeah, it's just a little science experiment.
Hence the reason I don't believe in religion or a god.
Yeah.
You know, people say you can't have good without having evil, which is a load of shit.
I mean, I believe there is a higher power. I was raised Catholic.
Higher power, yes, but
I do not believe that the God that they portray it to be is not exactly what it is.
See, what Mark's just written down in the chat there is it makes him wonder about dreams and what have you. You know, are our dreams limited by something as well, or is it the one place where we are free? But free is still, again, dreams are a subconscious of, you know what I mean? Where does it end?
Look, there was a very famous person that taught us dreaming is not good because he had a dream and now he's dead.
Well, we all dream and we're all going to be dead. We just don't know the date unless you read the Torah. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's crazy.
Well, you read the Torah, and where is it when I see it? Now I've missed it. With the codes.
If anybody's interested, you should look up the Torah and see what some of these predictions are, because they are beyond any kind of doubt as to it just being coincidence. They are so specific and so correct. But there's a couple where they've turned around and again, this goes into our whole argument here. There's a couple where they said something was going to happen and it didn't happen. So skeptics have said, well, it's a load of shit. They're not doing that. But what happened was, what led up to that point did happen, and that could have potentially happened, but take, for instance, the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? In the Torah, they may have said that the bombs were dropped. But if somebody knew about this code, they could have tried everything they could to change it so it didn't happen. So was it a predetermined thing? Was there free will at play? Or was it just all just programmed? We're all just running the programs that we are supposed to run. Which again goes back to the simulation theory and the Matrix and things like that.
I mean, this talk just has me thinking about what if somebody who, let's say, let's say read this information. For example, let's use 9/11, for example.
Yeah.
That information is in the book. What if somebody just carried out what the book said, and it's not really something, let's say, prophesized?
Mm-hmm.
Or it was prophesied and someone put the truth to that prophecy.
Now, what else also is interesting about this is that the Torah itself is just the first 5 books of the Old Testament, which Jeremy named them not long ago. Now, there's a total of 39 books in the Old Testament, and we don't know. We do know that other things have been prophesied through other books within the Old Testament, but not at the same prolific rate as in the first 5 books. So did they come from the same people, or did somebody else know about that at the time and tried putting their own stuff? It's like the Aztec, the Mayan calendar, whatever it is. It ended in 2012, whatever it was. Well, it was written that long ago that they had to pick a point to stop it at some point, figuring somebody would just continue it on. But we made the whole, everybody was dying. It was like the millennium bug. Oh my God, the clocks are going to tick over to 000. All of the banking systems are going to die. The world's going to collapse.
I remember that.
How stupid are we to believe some of this? And then it goes on to, do we believe all of this? But there's so much stuff in there that is so specific that you can't not take it seriously what's said, because there've even been scientific research done on it. And as Jeremy said at the start, there are books out all about the Torah codes. You can look on YouTube, you'll find videos on it all over the place. So it's just different people taking it a different way, whether it be in the hippie Gaia way, or whether it's the skeptical way, or whether it's the religious way. They all take it where they want to take it, but we're trying to keep it just to the facts that, well, we're looking at the alternative things about, is our life all predetermined and programmed? Do we have free will? Did aliens drop them off? Did people from the future go back in time and somehow go, well, if you're going to drop these books back in time where everybody's going to pick them up, you got to pick something that everybody knows about. So you don't just pick War and Peace or some book which are popular but not everybody's going to read. It's the holy books, the Bible, and with that, the Torah being the first 5 books of the Old Testament, and it shows up in other religions as well, that's going to get you more, it's going to get your word out further. But then you need people to actually pick up what you're putting down. Now, I said at the start that if you do the skip code of 50, starting from the first letter, skip 50, it spells out Torah, which is why they're now called the Torah codes. But different skip codes, different numbers, they just keep coming up with different information. We still don't know if they've got to the bottom of it all yet. I mean, they're doing layered analysis and all of this sort of thing, trying to cover every single aspect.
The main codes that they're using, or the main way they're using for patterns to figure it out these days, is theomatics.
Yeah.
So there was, when I brought up about the computers, there was a code, there was a part looked at from Isaiah 53:5. It was, but he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities, and the punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. And now they're saying, using every 12th Hebrew letter spelt out, the sentence, Jesus is my name.
Yeah. That's really, like I said, I read about this, and while it's interesting, and I thought, okay, we're talking time travel, are we talking aliens? Are we talking God? Are we talking, he said to one of the guys at work today, I said, I'm not telling anybody else at work about what we're talking about tonight because they won't like it. But
maybe this guy was a really hard-working Mexican that everybody liked.
But you know what I'm saying is, where do you go with that? Where do you go with it?
With everything coming out now, just with the US government, you could honestly say that aliens or time travel sounds a little bit more reasonable than an imaginary person in the sky.
Well, what's not to, and this is what I've said many times, is what's not to say that God is just an alien? You've heard what they talk about, the ancient aliens, chariots of the gods and things like that. That makes more sense to me. And then they turn around and they say that, but God made man in his image. There are so many. This is not racist. This is not anything. But there are so many different types of. But they're all the same. We're all the same inside, right? But this is just, I'm talking physical here. You have your African Americans, you have your Hispanics, you have your Asians, you have your white people, you have your Swedish types who are the other, you know what I mean? There are so many different types of people.
Semites.
And so what is his actual image? And then you talk about people, because everybody thinks about God as being the old man in the robes with the big white beard and everything. And then in modern day, no, it can be a dark-skinned person. It could be a female. It could be any one of those LGBTQTYZZ triple Ds or whatever. You know what I mean? It could
LGHDTV.
Wow.
LGTV. How do we not know? You know what I mean? We just don't know. Could they be completely alien? Now, there was something else that I was looking at today, the other day, which is going totally off topic, but they turned around and they said they found man-made ruins which predate any known predate even Neanderthal and all of those other types of down our evolutionary, that diagram. And they reckon there's at least 5 different incarnations that go back many, many, many hundreds, if not millions of years. And they reckon they all reached a point of technological supremacy before they were wiped out. And the last one that we know of is basically Atlantis. You know what I mean? And they reckon there were 5.
Except they're way smarter than us.
How close are we now to the precipice of wiping ourselves out? Because we're dumbing ourselves down and we're ruining the planet. So we're at that point again. The planet, once we are gone, will rebuild itself. And then the building blocks of life will start all over again. It's like the famous quote from, because I'm a sci-fi nerd, from Battlestar Galactica. We've all been here before and we will all be here again. Or it has all happened before and it will all happen again. Where are we?
I mean, I've long said that with the craziness going on around the world today, we need a reset.
That's why they call everything that's happening the Great Reset.
Yeah.
We do need a reset. But yeah, I think that as far as all these numbers are concerned, is there any relations between the Torah, the word Torah, and what are those cards that
tarot.
Psychics?
No, tarot cards and the Torah are 2 different things.
Oh, okay.
Sound the same, but not the same.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, Mark has just put something up in the chat. He goes, okay, what's this thing about the alien ship crashed 50,000 years ago in Greenland that created the Ice Age? I have not heard that one before. He's got probably a discussion for a different episode. Mark, you've watched us long enough to know that we go off topic very quickly.
Oh, always.
I haven't heard of that.
That's very interesting. I actually never heard of that. I've heard about, the Ice Age happening due to a meteor hitting Earth. I mean, not an alien spacecraft.
Yeah, actually, the X-Files sort of looked into something along those lines when they found the X-Files movie where they found the spaceship in the ice. And then it took off. But
I mean, there's a lot of spaceships in ice because if we go back and think about, Captain America.
Similar kind of, yeah.
Ships. But yeah.
And have you guys seen that film, The Tomorrow War?
Tomorrow War.
It sounds so familiar.
It is so good. Chris Pratt.
Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah, I saw
it is so good. It is one of the best films I've seen in a long. He's just a mathematician. He's a maths teacher, or whatever. He's in the here and the now. And while they're watching like the World Cup soccer or something like that, this big portal opens up. People come out, and it's people from the future saying, "We need your help. The world is dying. We're under attack, and we need you to come back and help bolster our things to fight the war against aliens." And it's basically set, I think it happens like 30 years in the future or something like that from wherever this was set. And so what they do is if you get basically conscripted, you have to go and do a 7-day stint in the future fighting the aliens. And then if you survive your 7 days, you come back and it's all good. And then your family if you die, your family gets paid like $1 million or something like that for your loss. And just about everybody that goes into the future gets wiped out, and then obviously Chris Pratt gets put forward. He gets conscripted, and he does his 7 days, and he finds out. He asked about when the aliens came down in the ships, and he was told the aliens didn't come down in the ships. And then he ended up coming back in time because he survived it, and he ended up talking to. They said something to do with volcanic activity and stuff like that, and there was this volcano nerd in his class, so he actually asked him about this information, and it turns out that the spaceship with the aliens on it crashed maybe 50,000 years ago. Funny enough, around the same time Mark was talking about. And what had happened is, with all global warming and everything, the ice was starting to thaw out and melt to the point where the ship was exposed and the aliens got out, and that's when the aliens attacked and wiped out the planet. There was no actual spaceships coming down or anything like a completely different version of an alien film, but it's definitely worth watching. They're actually making a second one, which I don't know how they can do that, but they're making a second one, and it's definitely worth checking out. So if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. Sorry, that was a big side step after talking about spaceships crashing in the ice.
That's all right. So going back to this whole religion thing, you're saying with the God, higher powers and whatnot. It really makes me wonder if there really is a God, as you're saying, making us in his own image and whatnot. And it got me thinking, does that mean we're all playing a huge game of incest?
No.
I mean, if you follow...
If you're made in...
If you follow the genealogy of where we started, it is all incestual.
Can you still hear me?
We're all, basically we all came out of Adam and Eve,
hang on a sec. You guys keep talking, and I'll be back in a minute.
Right, that's right. But yeah, so if you think about it, Adam and Eve were made, supposedly.
Yeah.
That's not my thoughts, but... And then, obviously, the Bible does not state whether there was other beings made. It does not give names. It also doesn't say that they were made in what image. People are just led to believe that they're a man and a woman. Now, there's supposedly some links between Jesus being 33 and crucified and Adam and Eve being made in the image of 33 from day one. But there's nothing stating that we're not from the same genealogy. See, Adam and Eve weren't human because they weren't born. They were created.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I mean, honestly, again, I was raised Catholic. The first couple of years of my life, I went to Catholic school, and these are all the stories that I've heard. Adam and Eve, the apple, and all of this stuff. If you follow that method, then
and not just that. Then Noah with the ark, the big floods, animals. It was only his family. There's another spot of that's just incest from along the way. It happens several times in the Bible, but nobody ever picks up and goes, "Hang on a second." Oh, the input. I think we've lost Gary completely.
Oh, didn't we mention Scientology?
I think it's because we started doubting the main fear-mongering platform that the world uses to control people.
I'm trying to see.
I'm still here on audio. Can you hear me?
Well,
yeah, we can hear you.
But my camera's sort of gone. My camera's back, but I can't get it back without dropping the connection. So I'm gonna have to see if I can switch.
No. So what you do is where it says about turn off, turn on camera, right click on it, and you can choose which camera you want it to be.
No. This is.
No, you're not there. You are there. There he is. Yeah, we can see you now.
I'm. Oh,
we can see you.
It's a delayed reaction. That's right.
Yeah. But yeah. So Gary, going on about the whole incestual line with Adam and Eve at the start, and then it goes to the floods with Noah and building the ark, and it was only his family aboard. So where did the rest of us come from?
Yeah, I'm just waiting until I see myself come back over there, but
I'm actually checking out.
Have I got you thinking now, Fernando? It was Noah and his family and 2 of every animal. That's it.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, like if you was to follow that method, there was a lot of weird hanky-panky going on.
Nah, lost it. It's not working. Actually, I wonder if I
mean, we're still live.
Yes, we are still live, but my video thing has. Let's see if I can switch over to.
Mark, what do you think about this? Or Carl? Anyone else got some input about what I just said? Don't be scared. It's just
There we go.
There we go. Gary's back.
Yeah, I know, but the problem is I have to switch everything over here now, so...
That's all right.
So if I switch that one over here, at least I'll be able to see you guys. But I can't see what's going on in the chat, so you guys will have to keep an eye on the chat. So.
That's not a problem. I don't think anyone's talking after that last stuff we were just talking about.
Well, I'm lucky. The reason why the view had changed on my camera is because I'm actually starting. If you saw the mess on the floor of all the tools and everything, I'm doing some renos at the back of the room here, at the back of the studio, and I didn't want everybody to see it, but luckily I haven't actually started anything yet, so I had to move the camera around the other way so you couldn't see it, and as a result I have to run it off battery power now because my dedicated power doesn't reach that far, and it just died on me. So
yes, Mark, someone else please join in on the chat. What do you think about what I said though, Mark? I'm a bad person.
I'm even further behind on you guys because that came through a bit late for me. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Like I said, yeah, I can't see everything in my current position. So actually, I wonder how the fan looks on this camera.
That's. Oh, see, I haven't even seen that video.
What video is that?
Mark just goes, I thought about the video from the Anonymous about the Pope bloodline.
No, yeah. I haven't seen that.
I actually haven't seen on that. Look, the Pope, or the Popes, or Pope, don't really have a good run for themselves at the moment with things they've been committed, or been proven to be guilty of crimes.
It's not really a job you want at the moment, is it?
I don't know, Bill Cosby would take it.
He said that.
Rolf Harris would have taken it. What
basically any celebrity right now that
look at Cardinal George Pell. He was another one.
They're going to be rolling up on your doorstep, Fernando, after just saying every celebrity. That's a lot of people.
Hang on, Fernando, are you talking about the whole Pizzagate situation?
I mean, I'm talking about the whole Epstein, whatever the hell name.
Which ties in with like Pizzagate and adrenochrome and all the rest of that.
All that stuff. I don't know.
Somebody's getting himself in trouble.
It is basically one of the reasons why I don't even watch television anymore.
I don't watch television.
I don't watch television or hear radio. Like I
listen to my own music.
That's it.
Carl's gone very quiet in the chat of late.
Fernando,
do you guys want to tell us all in the chat what your thoughts are? Do you think we're all living a predetermined life? Do you think we have free will? Be interested to see what you all think. All four of them. Scientology again.
So I was watching, going off topic again. I was watching videos with Stephen Greer was doing videos talking. Yeah. I think it was I think he would have been talking to Joe Rogan at the time. I think maybe. Mm-hmm. It was one of his interviews with someone, and he was saying he's actually got a dead man switch at the moment. So pretty much he goes, as soon as I die or disappear, all my stuff gets uploaded. So he goes, at the moment I'm safer and they are more beneficial for me being alive than dead. Because he's got all the documents for everything he's done ready to go and upload as soon as he's dead.
Mm.
And then people will be going, oh, Bob Lazar was right.
I at one point nearly bought the t-shirt.
Which one?
Well, you know how you had the shirt Tom was right? There was some that said Bob was right as well.
Yeah.
Thought about it.
Mark says he's done. Well, are you leaving, Mark? Don't leave. We love you. He goes, yeah, crazy pizza and blood probably.
But does he realise that it was actually predetermined that he was going to write, I'm done?
Exactly. And look, he's probably still here watching it and about to reply, so he's not done.
No. which was also.
So hang on. Does that mean that pineapple was predetermined?
Yep.
Yeah, there's no God.
I don't have to understand why, but yes.
There's no God.
And it brings new meaning to the word, do you want pineapple on your pizza?
He's too old for them now.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Look, we can...
I'm sorry?
Yes. No, you're right.
As far as the subject is concerned, with the Torah, I really need to do more.
What's happening?
Research?
Are the Scientologists knocking on your door?
I did hear. Give me 1 second. Remember, I'm in New York, so I got to check the doors.
Gets me every time, that bloody sound effect you do.
So, oh, it's great, isn't it?
Well, I'm just looking at me camera angle now on the thing over there, and you can actually see my
fan.
Yeah, well, actually, the fan doesn't look too bad on there, but you can see all my lights and everything. So.
That was weird. That was really weird.
What happened?
What was weird?
Well, I am currently by myself in the apartment, and I have my door open, and right across my door is the bathroom. Inside the bathroom, there's a window, so there's the brightness coming in. So the door to my bathroom closed. So I thought somebody was
home.
Was here, but my son is in school. The door to my bathroom actually closed.
Do you have any windows open with a draft coming through?
Mm.
It is like 20 degrees outside. I have everything closed. There's no draft.
Hang on, let's get some. Hang on.
He's looking for some creepy music now.
No. So that's -6 Celsius for everyone else.
Oh, okay.
Look, I have been in weather where it's been cold as all hell. I think it was in like 2-degree weather, maybe a little bit colder, running around in shorts and a singlet.
Yeah, I think the coldest I've been's about -10 or something like that. All right, I don't know what Mark's talking about, but he's going, oh man, that was quality. What are you referring to, Mark?
He probably was thinking about with Fernando about to leave and hop up to check the noise out when I did the knocking sound.
No.
It's actually, if you rewatch it, when you go back to watch it, it'll play out like perfectly. It was just right time, right place. Maybe it was predetermined.
I mean, I don't know if everybody in the chat group. I mean, there's only 4, but I am a paranormal investigator, so I'm like so interested right now to bust out my EMF and all of my equipment.
Do it.
As long as you don't get a voice coming through saying guilty.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Can you imagine the remakes of like TV series you could have, like Gilligan's Island?
Oh my god.
Pineapple in a white boat hat.
I'm just looking at Gary right now. He's like,
yeah, I'm ready to hit the kill switch.
Why?
Oh my god.
Why?
That's some funny stuff. Holy crap. Anyway,
I'm upset that I'm on on the camera, which isn't too bad, but what does everybody think of me until I turned up on the bloody fan? Look at that. It looks like all these little fans are coming at me nose.
Gazception.
Oh my god.
That's terrible. You'll see it in a sec. When after the time delay, you see these little things like they're coming out of my left nostril.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat will see it in a minute. I think, I don't know. I'll just throw a few things on there just to see how it worked, and I'll have that up and running properly at some point. So,
but Fernanda, going on about you asking about the tarot cards, if they have anything to do with the Torah.
Okay. Actually, I couldn't remember the name of the cards, so okay. You know, it just sprung into my brain. I was like, wait a minute, you know, that would have been interesting.
Like, yeah, tarot cards are actually were used as recreational playing cards by the Italian nobility in the Renaissance.
Yeah, and you know,
I didn't know that.
Apparently, mediums or psychics, they use it to predict somebody's future. So you know, since we're on the subject of
there's one Torah, for you. I was going to say, do you reckon they've read the Torah before they do a reading?
No, they have Torah cards.
Cheat codes, yeah.
Oh, come on, that was funny.
Cheat codes.
No.
Is there such a thing, Torah cards?
No.
They are.
Are they?
What, really? I'm having a look. No.
Torah cards.
How's it spelled?
Is it spelled with an AH at the end?
AH? Torah cards.
Wow.
Dude, I've Google searched it, Torah cards, and nothing is coming up.
Oh, they've obviously been banned in Australia.
You've got the Light Seers Tarot, you've got tarot cards.
I'm seeing a bunch.
Really?
Yeah.
Just on Google?
I'm on Google. On the shopping section.
Oh, well, we're on this angle. I could always put me bloody thing.
Yeah, on Etsy they're selling Torah cards. Ah, yeah. Learn to read Hebrew in 6 weeks with your Torah cards.
Oh, it's those kind of cat
dog Hebrew playing card.
Cat. But yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the subject is concerned, you know, I for one haven't really showed in my adult life have shown any interest within the stories concerning, you know, the Bible. But there was this one chapter that I actually what's it called? Is it the Revelations? I think that's the only part that was interesting for me.
Well, that's where it goes into the end of the world and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. That's basically the only chapter that I read. Just out of curiosity.
He cheated. He went straight to the back page of the book to read what's going to happen at the end.
I basically did. I mean, I just heard somebody speak about, you know, the Revelations, and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. Let me read it. Right. That's it.
We had to do religious studies every week at school, so we got to go through a lot of it. In many respects, it was the one class where a lot of kids tried to catch up on their sleep, but we always seem to get pinged. This is so boring, you know. It was right before PE on a Wednesday when we used to have it, so we were all keen to get out there on the sports field and everything rather than hear these boring ass stories about people that died thousands of years ago. That's what happens when you're a kid, you know. I mean, I'd already experienced my my experience, which got me started in the paranormal before that, but I was just not interested in religion. I was interested in the unknown. And it's funny. It's funny if you actually read through the Bible, there are so many supernatural things that happen throughout it that I don't know why people can't class it as science. It's classed as science fiction if it was written today.
Not the Bible.
Yeah.
So that's sort of, it's multiple people's stories put into one book. So it's not really a book in itself.
No, it's a collection of anecdotes and different bits and pieces, you know.
So, because anyone would think that the Bible would have been put into chronological order.
It's all over the joint.
But it's not. It's groups. Like Genesis through Esther are historical. Job through the Songs of Solomon is mainly poetry. And it goes, and then you've got Isaiah through to Malachi, which is historical narratives. It's weird the way they've done that completely.
I still think if you want to get a true indication of it all, you go straight to the Book of Enoch.
Yeah. It's been, like I said, I've said to you before, it's been picked apart and rewritten, and it's been translated several different times. It's just lost all meaning that it would have had to start with.
And that's the big thing about the Torah is if one character was out of position, it had to be rewritten. It changed everything, and and this is one of the things you've heard me say it 1,000 times over, that I always believe, especially with demons and things like that, is go back to the start rather than read this person's version of it or that person's version of it, because that's what all the holy books are that are out now. They're just different people's versions, because all of these different books have they have the floods in them, they have the this in them, they have the that in them, the angels, the demons, the jinn, all these different things. All the same characters are basically at play in the books, and the same stories are happening. It's just different characters they've given them all different names and things like that. And you go straight back to the original, and that's what the Torah is. The Torah is it's the oldest that we know of. And again, it's a storybook. I mean, how do you word something and then actually be able to encode that much information into it? You know what I mean?
Well, if you do read the Bible, it actually tells you the ending at the beginning.
Yeah, but you going back to the Torah specifically, all right? When whoever wrote it, what was their process? Did they have all the information that they wanted to encode first, and then the stories were written in such a way to incorporate all of those coded messages, or did they write the actual books first and then adjust them to fit the coding? It's an interesting, to me, I would have thought if you're going to do that, you would need all the information up front, and then you would write a narrative that would fit all of those codes in them, so it made some kind of sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that goes back to future people.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, anybody reading the Bible, unless you're studying the words, anybody could take whatever they might feel. For example, like one sentence could mean different to different people. So but
when the Torah codes literally spell out a person's name, there's no room for any kind of misunderstanding. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
You can read whatever you want into. Somebody reads you a passage from something, you can read into it how you want to read into it. But when your name, say for instance, a person's name comes up, that's that person's name. Their birth date comes up, that identifies them as that person, specific person. And then their date of death rolls up. Well, that can't be picked until they die. But when that happens, that goes beyond chance. It goes beyond coincidence. That is it predetermined? Is it somebody's come back like Marty McFly did with the almanac of all these great dates and things? You know what I mean? And put them in this document.
I was curious because you did mention something earlier about how people were, skeptics with the numbers, or because there were things that were happening and then there were things that weren't. When was was there a time where something didn't happen and then things started happening again, or it just stopped happening?
What do you mean in relation to the predictions in the Torah?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they're always there. There may be gaps, but again, you like I said, it's was it 380 something thousand characters in the actual Torah itself, right?
Yeah.
It's in so many rows across, so many rows down, and I just said to you, you work on a 50-digit skip code. So you skip 50 digits, write the next one down. You can have everything from skip 1, skip 2, skip 3, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you start the code from a different letter and you get a different code again. So you now imagine how many combinations go in there. Yes, some of them may be purely by chance you'll pick up a thing here, but when they name a place, a location, a person, a date, this, that, and quite often in clumps, so they are all together. What they say, you think about a word search, right? And you say you've got your name there. All the information to do with that person intersects with that name within the Torah. So it's specific.
But in saying that as well, there are also several articles saying that it has been debunked using science as well.
And this is the old thing. It doesn't matter what we go into, and I don't know, I've never seen these things in person, but there's always going to be a side that'll debunk something. There's always going to be a side that do it, but when they provide information that is so specific, it's got to be looked at. It's got to be looked at because it is more than just coincidence.
So what have I got here?
I mean, I would like to know, like what events did it prophesize? I mean, because we got to use the word prophesize for this.
So, from what I've read here, when the Michael Drosnin that wrote the book in 97.
Yep.
He wrote the book on a subject, challenged the critics to find the same prophecy regarding the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin or Moby Dick, as the Bible codes folk are found in the Bible. Australian computer scientist Brendan McKay did just that, and for good measure, he found letter arrangements predicting the assassination of Trotsky, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr. also, which in other words is saying the Bible codes had been debunked, but the fact they persist is still interesting. It goes on here to say that the way that it was written and they have got these codes was to show that the Jewish rabbis were using it to push their religious views on other Jews, and they're willing to lie or somehow ignore overwhelming evidence that contradicts their claims. In this regarding, it's noteworthy that Simon himself, an Orthodox Jew troubled by the spectacle of rabbis and missionaries conning prospective, I can't even say those words, converts to orthodoxy and pseudoscience. So what they're saying is, they're using this to push people to go to other religions and trying to push them to orthodoxy.
Which goes back to control again and predetermination.
Exactly. What we said to start with.
I mean, there is a book within the Torah where it talks about, I believe, is it Exodus?
Exodus is one of them, yeah.
That it talks about how a group of people were trying to run from slavery. So, yeah, the book tells how the ancient Israelites leave slavery in Egypt through the strength of Yahweh, the God who has chosen Israel as his people.
Which Yahweh is, Jesus.
Inflicts horrific harm on their captors via the legendary plagues of Egypt. So, I'm just kind of coincides with what you just finished saying.
Anyway, I think it's time for us to head out soon, but has anybody got any last minute thoughts on the Torah and the Bible code?
If I was to ever grab the Bible, besides that moment in time where you feel like probably
hitting somebody over the head with
when you're about to die, you want to read the Bible, just whatever, but this would be right up there as the reason why I read the Revelations in the first place, because it's interesting. So I will definitely just read the 5 books, which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and what was the other one that I can't even pronounce? Deuteronomy.
Yeah, but where you're going with that is you're going to be reading them in English, so the Torah codes aren't going to work anyway in English.
Well, from what other things say, is they reckon it does work, but who knows?
Mm. I saw one guy talking about it, and he breaks it all back down to numbers. Like every character in our alphabet has a number associated with it, and it's the same for every alphabet in the world in all the different languages. There is a number associated with each letter, each character, and that's when he started saying, "Oh, it brings numerology into it, and this, that, and the other," and it just keeps going and keep going. That's why I purposely haven't gone into all of that, and I've just kept it to the actual codes themselves from the original Hebrew version of the Torah.
But that just goes with another thing. If you go in with a mindset and you're pushing for that, you're going to find something that's going to make sense to what you're looking for to start with.
Going back to
pick and scratch at it.
Yeah, going back to quotes from movies and stuff like that. Go back to Ghostbusters where they were doing the cards thing, and he was getting everything wrong, and he turned around and he goes, statistically speaking, you should have guessed more correct by now than what you're actually getting. So it proves that he was doing something specifically good to actually get them all wrong, equal to getting them all right. It's the same sort of thing. So
perspective is to each individual.
It is.
I mean, I don't think it would be so hard to, let's say, to do the work, right? Like we would just find these books, I'm with Google and technology today, we could just basically have
Google Translate.
No, see, that's
the Hebrew version of each book, and then just count every letter, translate the letter into English.
You still would not get the correct answer.
No.
You go to simple things as English to Italian translations, and they still get it wrong.
Yeah. Another interesting thing, if you actually look at the Hebrew script, it looks awfully like the writing that has been reported in some alien crashes, like Roswell, where they said they found those beams where they had what they described as like hieroglyphics. From the artist impressions that you've seen, it looks very much like Hebrew. Very much like it. So does that add to aliens, or...
Are you saying that all Jewish people are aliens?
No.
All rabbis are aliens?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm talking about the people that place...
You're gonna get us cancelled.
No, that was a question. They're not a race of people, it's a religion, it's all good.
Yeah, there's a difference between race and religion. I'm talking about whoever deposited the Torah on Earth. I don't know what better way to put it. It's not like somebody said, "Here you go," Uber deliveries. It didn't turn up in an Uber. It didn't turn up by FedEx or anybody like that. They were just there, and nobody knows where they came from, or they were just there at the top of Mount Sinai.
It was just there, sitting there with a white light going.
7-Eleven. No.
Or a burning bush.
Yeah. So it's just who did it? Who wrote them?
I mean, if you go by what people have always said, it's that's people. It's just people's experience. Yeah. I mean, my question would be, why is it relevant at all as a story to be carried across?
It's not
forever.
It's not.
I mean, because you would think that if let's say within the Bible, I mean, again, I never read the Bible, but you would think that maybe each story of everybody at least came in contact with a specific person, let's say Jesus, but it's just different stories.
Let's say Jesus.
But the only thing is, which gets it as well, is they're written from different authors X amount of years apart.
It's a collection of short stories.
But they weren't from people within a 20-year period.
No, the span...
There was hundreds of years in between.
Yeah.
So who's to say someone didn't read someone else's paper and go, you know what, I can write something similar to that?
Plagiarism.
No, it's just like I see it as it's a great way of control.
Yeah. And on that,
you give people a set of rules to live by, and you tell them this is going to happen if you're bad. You're going to do it, aren't you?
James has asked what the spinny thing is over my shoulder.
That is his little happy spirit. It's his guardian angel that watches over him.
It is. Hello.
Gadception.
Oh, man.
It is going to look better when I get it all sorted out properly. But
maybe you should get 2 or 3 of them so like they're floating above you. Because you can have one above. You can have one above you with a UFO.
You do realise that I don't have any guards. If I lean back too far, it's going to take me head off.
That's all right. Nothing but it's a mere flesh wound.
Yeah. That's it. Anyway, it is time to go now. So, thank you for everybody who has stuck with us right through this very weird and wonderful kind of episode, talking about all sorts of. We tried to keep religion out of it as much as possible, but it's hard not to bring it into
you can't not keep religion out of it. It's a religious book.
But is it?
Yes, it is.
No. Hebrew. Those things were just there, right? They just magically appeared at the top of Mount Sinai. Well, we don't know. They were just there. It was that what people did with them that made them religious books. They were just there. Whether it be a storybook, whether it become part of the Old Testament, whether it be this, whether it be that.
I think people just dumbed down enough, and that's the exact. And it was real.
That's the exact thing. Is they became part of the Old Testament. They weren't the Old Testament. They became part of. Somebody decided to include them in the holy books, which then 2,000 years later we consider as a holy text, but they were not necessarily that up front.
It would have made more sense having the Hunger Games as a religious book.
And this is the thing: in 2,000 years' time, how do we not know that the Hunger Games and Harry Potter are not going to be the new holy book?
You mean they're not? I thought Harry Potter was.
It makes more sense than a lot of the holy books, but
look, you could read Clifford the Big Red Dog and it still makes more sense than the holy book.
But this is what I'm saying is, we don't know what people are going to think of what we're all about in 2,000 years' time, if indeed we are going to be around in 2,000 years' time, because I haven't got to that point in the Torah to find out when the world ends.
I'm still trying to figure out what the first letter in Hebrew is.
Ugh.
I mean, thinking about it, let's just say, right, our generation.
Yeah.
It's most definitely going to be spoken about as long as the world spins, because we've witnessed a lot of crap in our lifetime.
All right, let me throw something.
People from the 40s said the same thing.
Let me throw something else at you. You said something then.
Wars.
Fernando, you have just started something. You said as long as the world spins, right?
Yeah.
How do you know we're spinning?
Oh, here we go.
How do you know?
I knew it. Gary's a flat earther. I knew it.
No. Through school and primarily this one scene in the Big Bang Theory.
No. Earth is standing still, and the universe is spinning around us.
Interesting.
Yes. And when I hop in my car to go to work, everything else moves around me and not my car. I just sit there pretending to go like this.
It's like, have you seen that photo on Facebook of that boat with about 15 outboards on the back? He said he doesn't go places. He just starts the engines up and spins the world around until his destination arrives.
Oh my God. Hey, I mean, that's a good thought. Just stand still and you're jogging enough that you could lose calories.
Wait, you've never been on a treadmill?
Well, you guys said it not long ago. You guys brought it up not long ago. It's all about perception.
Perspective.
What's
that? Perspective.
From your point of view, from our point of view, are we spinning? But when you look up at the stars, you see the stars moving. So it looks like everything is spinning around us. In reality, well, it's still spinning, but everything's spinning around some things. But it's just, it all comes down to perspective and your point of view.
Exactly, that comes back to exactly what James asked. He goes, it all depends on who translates it and what they think it means.
Yeah.
10 people could read the same verse and the same passage in a Bible, and it could mean 10 different things to those people.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I said earlier too. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I say we've been through so much. I think our generation, our lifetime, will be in the history books as long as the world spins, I think.
Which generation?
No.
In the century or the generation?
No, because you go back 2,000 years, they put everything down on on stone tablets and stuff like that, which do eventually degrade but stand the test of time. We put everything on a computer which dies when the power goes out. Everything that we do is going to be gone in an instant.
I'm not gonna lie, I heard everything you said. But with that effing knock, bro, I mean, after experiencing my door closed, I was like...
Every time, and it works. It works.
No.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like, you know, people taking pictures, you know, they keep it as memory, but if everything is electronic, are you really gonna keep it for a long period of time?
It's the same thing as having a physical copy. If fire rips through, you're gonna keep it forever.
James has just mentioned something in the chat, which is something I've thought about a lot of times. Right, when you go driving in your car, is your car moving? Or
That's what I just said.
Yeah, or is it the wheels that are moving and the car's just going for the ride with it?
Well, technically, the wheels are actually make up the car and the vehicle. So yes, the car is moving.
Oh my god!
It's yeah.
And technically, the wheels don't move; the axles and the bearings move.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think
wheels are stationary objects. The wheels are stationary objects that bolt to a moving object.
And then that goes back to, right, when you're flying in a plane going down to visit somebody in a very sunny part of America, right?
Yes, we fly upside down.
Yeah, and there is a fly inside the plane. Is the fly flying at normal speed, or is it doing like 600 miles an hour?
Normal speed.
Because the plane's flying at, say, 600 miles an hour, but the fly's flying forward to the front of it, which means it's going faster than the plane.
Well, here you go, Gary. Here's an answer for that. You hold a piece of paper on a plane and you throw it forward. Is it traveling faster than the plane, or is it just traveling at its normal speed?
Exactly.
It's just traveling at its normal speed, because it would still move the same speed outside of the plane.
You guys are just blowing my mind right now.
So I got this, and I throw it. It'll move the same speed in my relativity of that cabin of the plane.
But if you have a paper plane and you throw it out the window of a plane while you're flying,
it's not going anywhere.
One, you're going to be in the shit because the window's open and you're all going to get sucked out of it. But the moment it goes out into outside, it is still traveling shitloads faster than it ever would before, even though it's going to slow down real quick if it doesn't get torn apart.
Mm. Well, it's outside the plane, not inside the plane.
Mm. It's all to do with inertia.
That's so weird. I've never thought about things like this.
I'm just surprised I've actually got answers that make sense.
Yeah.
There's lots of little delicacies.
Because, you know, I mean, it makes you think, right? Like, even if you was to get up to use the bathroom in an airplane, are you walking faster? As far as speed is concerned, are you walking faster than the plane moving?
I've got a better one for you. If you're getting up to go and use the toilet in the plane, how fast is your toilet activity going? Are you shitting at 600 miles an hour, or? Because if you snap off a log at that speed, it would do damage.
What, to you and the person that hits?
Holy crap!
Hey, when I was a kid, I used to think, I am never going to walk under a plane that's flying in the sky, because if somebody does a shit on the toilet, it might land on me. I wasn't aware of the concept that it stayed on the plane. I thought there was a little
every
hole.
child thought that.
If it started to rain, I was looking for planes to make sure it wasn't somebody pissing on me.
What would snow be then?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but it's been decades the last time I used a bathroom in an airplane.
Mark,
that is like claustrophobic. That's claustrophobic. Like you don't have like no.
Mark goes, the water down the drain spins different for Fernando.
Yeah. No, it does. Because we're in the southern hemisphere.
Is it counterclockwise or clockwise?
Tell you the truth, mine just goes. It's just a big
clockwise here.
Mine doesn't spin. It just does a fucking stupid thing. Ooh,
so our drains will swirl clockwise.
Oh my god. Later, I'm just gonna flush the toilet to see what direction it goes.
So realistically, if yours flushes and swirls counterclockwise, you guys are backwards. Because clockwise is generally the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are giving me the only urge to go to the bathroom right now and just flush the toilet.
Hang on, this might help. Where'd it go?
Take the GoPro with you just so you can film it.
That's with anything. When you pull the plug on the sink, it's supposedly the same as well. Supposedly.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, we have done it now. We are going, so I'm going to hit the button. So take it easy, guys.
See you later.
Have a good one.